I spent the summer in an uncomfortable triangle, which included me, my car, and my mechanic. I'm pretty sure that all the parties lied at least once. After snakes and crying women, few things strike terror within me more than having to look under the hood of my car. There was a point in my life when I was a valet parking attendant in Lake Tahoe, and I knew how to unstick an automatic choke by putting a pen or pencil, using a pen or pencil to force it to stay open while you started the car. Occasionally, the pen or pencil would slip down into the carburetor. But that was a problem for another time. So on June 4th of this year, my car made a sound that was unpleasant and alarming. It still ran, but it did not sound like it would make it the 13 miles to Earl's Automotive, which is across the Colorado River in Arizona. 13 miles. A few words about Earl. He had a shop for many years in Burbank and a stellar reputation, according to a framed article from the LA Times that hangs in his office. He was recommended by my pot dealer. And he can occasionally be seen on the History Channel discussing his UFO sighting. I had been to Earl before this and had received, to my very limited knowledge, fair treatment, and he had even honored my warranty. So, I sent the noisy car to Earl, and he called me back and asked me to describe the noise again. Then he said, yeah, I don't hear what you're describing, but I did find, and then he said a lot of car words. That were ultimately not covered by the warranty. 2 days later, I got my car back. And the day after that, Saturday, I was driving to Needles.
It's Earl.
Time for my pills. So I get the car back, and 2 days later I'm driving to Needles, which is 25 miles away, Needles, California, to buy my Super Lotto. And I hear the sound. More unpleasant and more alarming than ever before. Just as I pulled off the road, the car completely died. So, I had to open the hood. And there was air, billowing and white. I called AAA, and then I called Earl, who is closed on weekends. But he responded to my message almost immediately, sounded appropriately distressed, and said to tow it over, he'd look at it first thing Monday. So we tow the car to Earl's and leave it in front with the keys under the passenger side mat. Now, the tow truck was from California because that's where I broke down. Earl is in Arizona. Not as bad as you think. We had to cross the South Bridge, and we drop off the car. But the tow truck can't take me home to Nevada because that is just too far out of his way because he has to go back to California. And my friends either drink, work, or have kids. Most, all three. So to get home, I have to take a bus, a boat, and a bus. Turns out the radiator was blown, and it's covered, and they replaced the radiator. But it keeps overheating. And even I know this one because it's on the dashboard. The needle goes into the red part. That's bad, right? Okay. This started like a 6-week odyssey of where my car was with Earl, in and out, and the same thing always, the radiator. We had bad radiator cap. Bad radiator cap, bad radiator. So I get a new radiator, a new radiator. Bad radiator cap, bad head gasket, bad head gasket again. And the second one I find out from another mechanic because at one point I confronted Earl with a written list of 8 reasons why I no longer trusted him. And those that he could not verbally tap dance about, he agreed with. In the middle of these visits to Earl, during a period when my car was declared drivable, I had a dental emergency. Now my dentist is in Long Beach, because he's a personal friend.
Oh my God.
I drove in, got my emergency fixed, and on my return, as I'm crawling up the 605 to try and merge into the 210 to go to the 15 to go home, the needle goes into the red. And I'm not moving, which is worse. But after 10 minutes, I'm coaxed onto the 210, and I make it home the 300 miles just with the needle flirting with the red all the way. But I make it back home and make it back to Earl's. So I have another bus, boat, bus. I really cannot tell you how many times I was there. I was over 6 times with the radiator. I got the car back again in mid-August. And I immediately had another dental emergency. And I drove to Long Beach, and my dentist friend tells me I need a wisdom tooth pulled. But his friend, the surgeon, is off today, so I stay over and I come back the next afternoon. They use a local anesthetic, pull the tooth, and I'm back on the road at 4 p.m. And I'm crawling up the 605 to take the 210 to the 15, and the needle goes into the red. Now this is disappointing, but now I carry a gallon of coolant with me all the time, and I basically know what to do. So I pull off the 210 in Azusa, and I go to a Jack-in-the-Box. I haven't eaten all day because I was having surgery. And a little booklet they gave me after having the tooth pulled said, need to eat soft food like mashed potatoes. So I order fries. And a Coke. And I let the car cool for 20 minutes or so. And then I open the hood and I take off the radiator cap. And using my funnel, which I carry with me, I pour coolant into the pretty empty radiator. And after a while, I hear liquid hitting the pavement. And I see the coolant on the ground. And my heart sinks. And the Coke and the fries are ready to make a quick exit. I stop pouring and I look at what is happening. And I see there is a leak from a hose that is torn. And the hose is right in front of me. Like I could touch it. I can see where it's connected. I could fix this. I could fix this. If only. And I look up, and across the street and down just a little bit is a sign. Dick's Auto Supply. I drive over to Dick's, and I go to the counter, and I say, I need a hose, but I don't know how to tell you what it is. So Johnny comes out from behind the counter, goes and looks at my car, sees what it is, says, yeah, okay, let me see if we got that. What year is this? I tell him, and he goes in, and he looks, and he says, no, we don't have that. But I can get it for you in an hour. It takes 30 minutes. And when it comes, he cuts it so it will fit exactly, and he lends me a screwdriver. And I go out, and I put the hose on, the new hose, the new non-leaky hose. I do that. I do that. Thank you very much. Thank you. And since then, I haven't opened the hood, and I haven't seen Earl.